What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's beautiful project, the Lamborghini Huracan Performante Edition. This is a performance spec Lamborghini Huracan, as you can see there by the Performante written in there. We got it from the auction house, and it's in pretty bad condition. The interior is the only sort of semi-decent bit about it there. Did we get a good deal on this one? No, not quite, but it's only a little bit, so I'll take it. We bought it for 83,741, and I could sell it for 82,022, losing out on only 1,719 before we begin. And that's not too bad. The engine in this one is the V10 double overhead cam at 980-01. Pretty spectacular. We're going to be loading this one up with performance parts today, making it as insane as we can, starting with 637. What do you think we'd be able to get it up to by the end of today's episode? Let me know in the comments below. This is going to be awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And while we're here, just need to announce the winner of the previous competition, the Bolt Mosquito Mark 6. You saw mine. This one was the winner, voted for by the public in the official Red Dot Games Discord server for Car Mechanic Simulator 21. In fact, it's just their server for everything they do, which is just Car Mechanic Simulator 18 and 21 that sits there at the moment. But there we go. Sonic Fear, congratulations. Absolutely insane looking Bolt Mosquito there. The Drag Beast, absolutely loving that. Looks awesome. But let's get back into today's video. Our beautiful Performante Lamborghini Huracan. We need to get this one cleaned. So let's get it over to the car wash. Let's get started. In the car wash, let's just get this car cleaned. We can see that it's blue. It's not that dusty or that bad, so it doesn't matter. It's quite a nice blue as well. Blue's not what we're going with today. I like the little sort of two-toned effect there, just where it's a little bit messed up still than the rest of it. But let's get this interior cleaned, get it back on the lifter, get that V10 engine ripped out of there, and get everything else stripped down. The Performante up in the air. Let's check for the oil pan. There is a big beastie block of an oil pan there, but it looks like a lot of that engine is missing. Fair enough. Let's get underneath and get all of that oil drained out. How bad is it? I've definitely seen worse, but it's still not great. But let's get you put away and see what we got going on in here. Now, is this four-wheel drive or just rear-wheel drive? Let's have a look. It is four-wheel drive. I'm assuming there's nothing to connect them to. No, it doesn't look like it, but we've got a lot missing from the engine bay, as we can already see. And a lot missing from that engine, obviously. But I know to get this gearbox out, we need to get these rear wheels and drive axles out. So I'm going to find a nice little spot where I can do that. And I'll be back in a second. That's the wheels and rear drive axles off. Let's get up here because it's letting us take the engine. But I kind of want to know where the starter should go. Just down here. I say engine. I meant gearbox. But we're going to add the starter to our shopping list now so that we don't forget it. Then take this big old Porsche gearbox out of here. Out you come. And then we should be able to rip what's left of that block out of there. So let's get the car back down on the ground and go and grab the engine crane. Grabbing you over to the car. Let's get this trunk piece open. That was the window, but it worked anyway. Out you come. That's what we like. Nice and easy. Now, there is an engine cover in here, which we will be taking out a little bit later on. But what I want to do now is get into this engine cover case. Engine bay, that's the word I was looking for. And see what is actually missing. Everything. So we've got ABS pump, the air filters, coolant reservoir, brake servo, 2 more air filters, then some actual floating air filters up there as well, the power steering reservoir, brake servo, all up there. All missing, which is a bit of a shame, but never mind. And then if we nip down to the front, we're also missing the wishy-washy reservoir, the battery, radiator A, large intercooler there, fuse box, ECU, fuel tank and fuel pump. So a lot missing. All of the engine bay components missing, but all of the suspension looks like it's all there. So that's pretty good. But I'm going to get all of that all stripped out, get all of this engine bay stuff replaced and ready to go. When we come back, it'll be time to strip down the Huracan's beautiful bodywork, ready to get it all back together and head over to the paint shop. Everything mechanical for our beautiful little Huracan Performante is all repaired, replaced or upgraded, ready to go. So let's start sorting out this bodywork. Let's get off the hood, out with these fenders, grab that front bumper, headlight come out. No, we have to do that one separately. Out with the windshield. What have we got down here? Any fenders? Nothing. Left a body window. Nearly said bay window again. There we go. Out with the rear bumper. That's a bit of a shame. I really didn't want the exhaust to be connected to the rear bumper there. Out with the tail lights. There we go. Out with that trunk. Then, is that body window? No, that's part of it. We need car part 1. Out you come We definitely need this engine cover out of here. I'll grab that. I thought that was part of it as well. That's not part of the frame. A body window, door, side skirt. There is one on this side. And is that everything? I'm not 100%. But let's jump in and grab the interior. Is that the Bolt Mosquito Mark 6 interior in a Lamborghini? That doesn't quite feel right, but there we go. Now, is that everything? Let's have a look. 1%. That's a good sign. And nothing on there. So we have got everything. Frames at 13%. I bought the car for a little over 80,000. I'm going to say 2.5. 2,500. 2,600. Not far off for that one. Let's jump in and just take a quick look at the Huracan in the body shop. Where are we? There we go. Let's see what we've got. Obviously, we are sticking with the Performante, so some of it is labelled for what we need, specifically labelled with the Performante edition. Then if you want the Evo, Liberty Walk, the Duke Dynamics, and then some masonry stuff as well. We will be sticking with the Performante, that one there, very specifically. I'm liking it. Engine cover, the Performante, definitely sticking with that one there. There is a lot of options though. GT3 bumpers, lots of front bumpers to play around with. Performante doors, Evo doors, fenders. Do we have a special one? We do indeed. There is lots to go around. The hood is the only one we can play options with if we want to. I'm not 100% sure. We shall see. Definitely probably swapping the headlights out to some tinted ones and the tail lights as well because they look cool. Performante rear bumper, specifically that one there. You can see the exhauster in different places. So it makes sense as to why. Liking that. Different mirrors. We just play around with whichever one we like the best. Trunk, specifically the Performante one. Excuse me, had a bit of a cough there. Trunk window, Performante, and then a windshield. So there's quite a few bits to go on this one. Let's get it all back together and get ready to send this beautiful little beast over to the paint shop. See what I'm going to do with it today, although you have already seen the thumbnail. Let's get this beautiful car all back together so we can get this beast into the paint shop and get a lovely new colour onto it. On with that hood. Then we've got the Performante front bumper and fenders on there. In you go and in you go. We did go for the tinted headlights in the end. They just look a little meaner and a little better in my opinion. Loving that. Performante door, Performante side skirt as well. Normal mirrors. I did try the masonry ones, but they're carbon fibre. And not a lot else is carbon fibre on this car. So I decided against that. Let's get all of these windows in. There we go and there we go. Down to the back, let's start with the engine cover so we don't mess ourselves up. The Performante one, along with that rear bumper as well. And the spoiler on there. For the tail lights, we did go for the tinted ones as well, and matching in with the front. Then the trunk is the Performante one, with the window the same on there. Let's get going around and get the rest of this all in. In you go and in you go. Then we've got the window and the mirror. And that should be everything for the bodywork. For the moment, let's get in and grab some interior. Let's get this all in. So I've swapped the steering wheel out. It starts as the M3. I've swapped it to the Z1. And I'll explain it a little bit more a little bit later on. I've also swapped the seats into the Vantage seats, and I think they're looking pretty sweet in there. Yes, I'm not happy that it says Vantage on the seats or that we've got the big Z logo in the middle of the steering wheel, but it is what it is. I think they're going to look good coloured a little bit later. And if we go around to the back for the license plate, we've obviously gone with our VM plate, and we've got a Huracan Z on there. Since we got that Z on the steering wheel, there we go, little inside thing there. But is that everything for the Performante Huracan? Let's have a look. 100%, 100%, 100%. It definitely is. Let's get this beast into the paint shop. Let's get some colours on it. Well, here she is then in this beautiful matte green. Absolutely stunning on there. Obviously, you've got the Performante logo on the side there with the flagged stripes running up them. Obviously, the greens are a slight different on there, but that's not too bad. Down at the back, we've got a little bit of white accent just across the back lights there. Looking pretty sweet. We've also got the same bit of white accent down at the front there, or a similar bit of white accent with the striping going all the way across the front and wrapping round into them. Looking absolutely stunning on there. Very pleased with that. If we open it up, we've got the beautiful green on them Vantage seats. You get the stripes running down the middle and the bits around the outside. Looking fantastic. And then on that steering wheel, you get that center line bit at the top there in the green, along with the Z in the green, and there is a little bit more green around the back on the casing there, looking pretty sweet. And then if we open up this engine bay, we've got a little bit of a little bit of colour on the engine cover. Those are the words I was looking for. We've got a little bit of green there just on the connectors going into the air filters that are pre-built in, and then this sort of bronzy, browny, goldy color. I'm calling it bronze because I think it looks a bit like a bronze. We're going to try and match that into some of the metal components. More specifically, we're going to try and get that onto the rims. I think the rims are going to look awesome in that color matched. We'll try and get a few other bits, radiators, intercooler, stuff like that, if we can get them matched. And then when I was saying earlier about I wish you could paint the exhaust, I wish they were separate, that's the color I had in mind to go on the exhaust. I think that would have been absolutely insane, but we'll work with the exhausts that are on there. That's what we're going for. Beautiful color color scheme. I suppose it is a bit of a screaming green, isn't it? Color scheme there with a bit of bronze, bit of black, lovely green, and then some white accents just around the outside for some good measure. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But let's start getting the rest of it painted and then start getting the Performante Huracan all back together, ready to go drag racing. That's everything painted on the beautiful Huracan, ready to go in. The light is reflecting really weird off of that front bumper there on the shadowing where it's coming through. Just looked really bizarre for a second. I thought I'd messed up the livery and taken the white all the way up. But anyway, beautiful colours, looking fantastic, all painted up there. Let's start getting some of this suspension together, starting with the shocks. We got black shocks, green springs, and lovely white caps on top of them, looking pretty sweet. Exactly the same as the rear, just a different style shock. Looking pretty good, though. Nice. Liking them. Did I grab that? I did. Let's get in. Let's get underneath and start getting some of this in. We're going to start with a medium intercooler, which is in that sort of bronzy, browny color I was talking about earlier that's on the engine cover. We've tried to match it. We'll see how good all of that looks a little bit later on. Front steering knuckle, though, is black. The sway bar is in that bronzy color. I do like it. It is a very nice color. Steering rack's in a green. Fuel tank's in a matte black. And the fuel pump is just in a cheeky little white up there. The upper and lower suspension arms are all just in a solid white, looking very, very nice on there. Matching it in with just the tiny little splashes of white we got on the livery around the front and rear parts of the car. Let's get the shock in. We've seen it. It looks pretty good, liking that. Inner tie rod and outer tie rod are both in that bronzy color, looking pretty good. With the sway bar end link just in a cheeky little black, finishing that off. There we go. Knuckle cover is in the bronze with the wheel hub in the black on there. Then we've got the brake disc, the wheel hub bearing, brake pad, and then we've got the front drive axle, which is just in a black on there, going into nothing, but we're using our imagination. And the brake caliper in a lovely matte green. Now, to achieve this, the brightness of this is down a little bit, and this one's gone way up. So these are like an 80 brightness. These are way at 100. Trying to get them to match in with the car bodywork, which looks pretty good there. Let's get down the back and start getting some of this all together. Not much down here. Just the rear knuckle in a black. Then we've got the upper and lower suspension arms, which are both in that solid white. Same as the front. In you go and in you go with all of your bushings. Nicely done. Then we got that rear shock, which we've again already seen. Looking fantastic on there. Knuckle cover in the bronze with the wheel hub in a black on there. Then we can get the rest of this all finished up, apart from that drive axle, because we obviously have to wait for the gearbox and engine to go in to do that one. On with the brake caliper, and that's it. There isn't much to these front and rear suspensions. Make sure I got that bearing in there. I did. Well, I'm going to get the rest of the other side all finished. Then we'll move on to the engine bays, because there's a bit at the front and a bit at the back. And then we'll move on to build that stupidly insane V10 engine. I can't wait to see it. I'm hoping the colours look awesome. Looking pretty good. 4 colours under here today with the black, the white, the matte green, and that sort of bronzy colour. Very dark up here, but it's still looking pretty good nonetheless. But let's get on and sort the engine bay out. We've already got that fuse box in there in a lovely little matte green, looking good. The 2 radiators, they are both in that bronzy colour. Looking very dark up here, but you can see once you get the light on it, it's not dark at all. It's just the way the lighting is. Then we've got the wishy-washy reservoir, the Stage 3 ECU Type A, and the battery in there. Is that everything at the front? I believe so. So let's work our way down using some maneuvering. There we go. Then we got the brake servo, the power steering reservoir, the coolant reservoir. Round to the other side, the ABS pump, which is in the bronze, with the module just in a black on top of it, just to keep it all flowing a little bit better. Would have liked to do it white, but it doesn't work in white. These two go onto the engine, so we'll come back to them ones a little bit later. Then we've got a floating air filter, which is inside the air filter casing. I'll show you that in a bit. And then we've got some lovely white air filters with their air filters inside. In we go, and we go. Lovely white covers on them as well. And then all of the clips around these, if I could even find them, are in that bronze color. Looking absolutely fantastic. I will get all of these in rather than making you watch it. We'll check out the air filter covers that are on these, and then we'll go and build that V10. And I cannot wait for you all to see it. Just before we go and build that beautiful V10, I'll just show you the two floating... Do you know what? We'll go into camera mode because I've got a little bit more control. The two floating air filters sit in these boxes here, one here, one here. So they do actually fit in with where they are. And then obviously we've got the rest of our engine bay all sorted. That engine cover is beautiful. Do the clips match the cover there? Or is it just a little bit too dark that we can't really see? A little bit too dark, we can't really see. We'll check it later when we've got some more components in there. But let's go and build that incredible V10. As you can see, we've already got it started. The block, the oil pan, and the clutch cover are all in a matte green. I did the clutch cover for a change. It just looked weird without it, but it's looking pretty good on there. Let's get started. Alternator in that bronze, looking very nice down there. Then we've got the water pump also in that bronze color, and the power steering pump in the lovely little bronze. Then the water pump pulley is just blacked out. On we go, because we can do that now. Round to here, the oil filter is also blacked out. And then at the top here, the fuel filter is in a lovely matte green. These engine heads, these are absolutely fantastic. These are the performance parts, but they paint really well, even without the quality of life mod. The color is perfect. So we got the bronze on there. Looking absolutely stunning. On you go, looking beautiful. This will match up with a few bits a little bit later on. Let's get the other head in. In you go. Only the 3 bolts on them. Well, there we go. That's all in. And now we do have timing chains. One down here and one just on the other side, along with a couple of pairs of shoes. And that is actually correct this time, because there is 2 sets of these shoes. So let's get them all in. In you go. In you go. And in you go there. Then we've got the camshafts. There is 4 camshafts in total. 2 on each side, both with their own cam gear on the end. Once you've got all of them in, it's fine. Then if we nip up through the middle, we've got all of the spark plugs, 5 on either side, and loads of the camshaft caps as well. 4 for each camshaft, 4, 8. So that's 16 altogether. I'm going to crack on and get the rest of that all done. Find a nice little spot where I can see everything. There we go. And I'll be back in just a moment. There we go, all of the innards in. Let's get the rest of this front all finished with a lovely matte green timing cover on there. Oh, missed a bolt. I wondered what was going on. I thought it wasn't loading, but I missed a bolt. Crankshaft pulley in the black. Then we've got a cheeky little idle roller just up here. Then belts. 1 belt on this side, blacked out. 1 belt on the other side, blacked out. And then 2 more idle rollers just to finish them off. 1 there and 1 in there. If I can press go on it, there we go. Let's move up the engine head covers. These are in a matte white, just to splash in a little bit of the white from the body. I said matte white, they're not matte. It's a solid white on there, because the matte white looks a little bit dirty, in my opinion, sometimes. So we went with a solid white, really cleans it all up. Then we got the ignition coils, which are just all in a black, because the only way to get a color on them would have been chrome greening them or something like that. And I didn't really think it was going to fit in, so we just went with a little black. There's plenty of black on the build, so it does make sense regardless. Then we've got this beautiful intake manifold, which is in that beautiful bronze color. Absolutely loving it. Looking fantastic up there. See how shiny it is. These are almost the same shininess. It is beautiful. Absolutely loving it. Then we've got some lovely matte green fuel rails down there and down there. Then the cheeky little throttles. They're in a metallic green, for the reason of the ones on the engine cover are a little bit metallic green as well. So I kind of wanted to blend them in, and that worked out pretty well on there. Then we've got the exhaust. Now, we've seen the exhaust sticking out the back of the car just in shiny metal. So we left the exhaust manifolds just in that sort of chromey performance part effect. Hopefully it's going to match up with the look, although they don't connect. So I really could have done them any colour I wanted. But I like to make it feel like they connected, even if they didn't. So there we go. We left them in their chrome. What else have we got? Not a lot. Just these floating air filters, which won't be floating in a minute. Bases are just in a matte black. Then we've got the actual air filters inside of them. And then the connecty bits that actually connect in a green on the top there. You can see it connects into the throttle and up around the top. There we go. That is that beautiful engine. A green, white, black, and bronze once again. Looking fantastic. What do you guys think of that one? Do let me know in the comments below. I'm going to grab some pictures, then we'll get it dropped in the beautiful Performante Huracan. Not much left to go now on our beautiful Huracan. Let's get this beautiful V10 dropped into it, then we can get it outside in the sun, ready to go drag racing once we've seen all the specs and numbers. In you go, beautiful engine. Can't see it from here, so we're going to jump into camera mode, just quickly jump above the car and see what we can see. The green sticking through there. Did I sort them bronzes out? Not far off. That's pretty good considering the finish on these head covers, engine covers, should I say, is very, don't really know, beaten metal, hammered metal, don't know, and that's very shiny. But the colours are pretty close, so I'm definitely very, very pleased with that. Let's get you up in the air, though. Let's get the gearbox in, the last two drive shafts. Then we can get the windows tinted, liquids topped up. Get these wheels done. In we go with a beautiful gearbox, which is in that bronze on there. Looking absolutely fantastic. We got the cheeky little starter just down here in a green, just to add a bit more. And then these two drive axles are obviously blacked out because I like to black out the drive axles. I think it works the best. In we go and in we go. Ready for all four wheels. That is what I like to see. As I said, there is no exhaust connecting in. It just goes from there, floaty, 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 to back there. But it all works, and that is a very similar colour, so I'm very happy with what I achieved there. Back down on the ground you go, and let's get the liquids topped up, windows tinted, wheels done. Get this beautiful Huracan outside in the sun. Well, there she is, the Lamborghini Huracan Performante, all finished by Lit. Absolutely beautiful mod by Lit. This is a little bit of help from RobG with some labelling thumbnails, I believe. GRLDYLEE as well for helping the Duke Dynamics wide body kit one on there. Not one we built today, but just letting you guys all know. Link in the description below if you do want to go and grab the Huracan mod. It looks fantastic. How well did I do at getting these rims match into the same colour as the engine cover? Not far off. Very, very close indeed. Pleased with them. Speaking of them rims, let's talk about them. Now, these aren't the factory rims at all. I've swapped them to rim 18. I think it looks pretty good. Relatively close to what you can get Lamborghini. Not anywhere near close whatsoever, but as regards to rims in the game, relatively close. But there we go. The front wheel here is a 21-inch rim with a 245 width and a 25 profile on there. Looking pretty good. No ET needed. Sits quite comfortably inside that wheel well. Down at the back, it's a little bit bigger. We've gone for a 22-inch rim down the back with a 305 width and still a 25 profile on there. Relatively alright size. They don't take up too much of the wheel wells. If they went too much bigger, it would increase the ride height of the car and everything would look out of place. So it's not too bad. Slightly bigger at the back. Again, that's slightly bigger front and back as well. I think the standard is a 20-inch rim. 20-inch rim. Oh, front and back is 20 inches rim as well. So it's 245, 30, 20 should be at the back. And I've got it 21, 245, 25. So very close. That's the front, sorry. The back, 305, 30, 20. I've gone 22, 305, 25. So not far off at all, but let's jump inside and see what that V10 sounds like. Loving the interior. The Aston Martin seats really add the element of style to it. The sort of Lamborghini style without having actual Lamborghini seats. And then the Nissan ZC steering wheel, or 350Z steering wheel, just because I liked how it turned out in the colour. It looks pretty good. But let's get this one started. Nice tick over or rev there from the beautiful V10. Let's give it some gas. Now you can hear that V10 whine. That is what we like to see. A very whiny V10 from our Lamborghini Huracan Performante. But let's get this into the dyno room. Let's see what its horsepower is and what its drag rating will be. On the dyno with the four-wheel drive Lamborghini Huracan Performante and its 637 horsepower V10 engine. We've obviously tuned it today. How much have we increased it by? What's its drag rating? And what will its horsepower be? Let's have a look. A gain of 587 horsepower, 93%. I'm not going to lie, I was expecting a little bit more in the horsepower department there, but still 1,223 horsepower is pretty epic from a Huracan. I'm quite pleased with that. And the drag rating at a 999. We are in the very top class, so we should expect to see some unicorns, things like that in there. You know, the usual stuff we normally see on the drag strip. But before we get there, I need to have a look at the gearbox tuning setup. Let's have a look at that. I've gone for a 3.2 ratio, 90k in first gear, up to 345k in 6th gear. I don't know if we'll quite make it to that. We shall see when we get to the drag strip. It does have an ECU that is fully tuned and ready to go, and obviously no carburetors in there. So let's get this beautiful Huracan Performante onto the drag strip and try and win a tournament. First time on the drag strip for the Lamborghini Huracan Performante. So let's get into it. King of the Sands, a 1 mile A-class, pay our 1,000 entry fee. And who have we got in here today? Our first race is against the wide-body DeLorean, and that thing is insane. So we're probably going to lose our first race, which is a bit of a shame. More wide-body DeLoreans, Hot Wheels Bone Shakers, Stealth and Drag editions along there. Time Attack Toyota Prius. Matteo is in the version 2 Unicorn, not something electric. Oh, we've got the Delray Custom VM Gasser in here today versus our friend whose name we can't say, driving in the version 2 Unicorn. Then we've got a few other bits up here. Payne's in the wide-body DeLorean. That's an epic car and an epic driver as well. So let's get in. I think we're probably going to lose our first race, if I'm truly honest, against the wide-body DeLorean. I know that thing has insane top speed, and, well, I don't think the Lamborghini does. Let's just get into it and see how we do. Last time we raced the wide-body DeLorean on the drag strip, 1, it absolutely demolished us, and 2, I said it would be better if it was in the black edition and not in the silver, because it definitely looks a lot better in that black. Looking absolutely insane. Loving that one. Not quite as nice as our Lamborghini Huracan Performante, but will it be able to beat it? I know that wide-body DeLorean's insanely fast. Let's just get in. Let's go. Off the line, into second, into third. This thing accelerates extremely well, but it sort of just gets to speed and then peters out, which is a bit of a shame. And yeah, there goes that wide-body DeLorean. First race, we're going to be out, which is a shame. It is one of those things, though. This just doesn't quite have the top speed, and I can't seem to get it to have the top speed whenever I try. It's not slow by any means. I believe we just crossed the line at 310 kilometers an hour. We got to the quarter of a mile in 9.233 seconds. It's a fast car. Lower down. It doesn't have the top end to just keep going. I mean, look at the DeLorean, 439 kilometers an hour. That is absolutely insane. We're topped out at 310. I mean, 310 is still fast. Just, yeah, not the best in the world. Love the mod, love the car. It's absolutely fantastic. I just wish it had just a little bit more to give. Bit of a shame. We've gone out in the first round. We paid 1,000 to lose a race, but we will do a couple more just to get some times down for the Lamborghini Huracan. Speaking of the times, 9.233 to the quarter of a mile, 24.635 to the 1 mile with top speed of 310 kilometers an hour. But yes, we're out. Let's see who's going to take the crown on this one, and then we'll jump into a couple more. So yes, we are out, which is an absolute shame. The Delray Custom Gasser is out as well. I'm a bit surprised about that. That thing is insane. Matteo is out. Who else did we have in here? I can't even remember. Payne is out. We've got our friend who we can't pronounce because that's not lettering I can even begin to fathom how to read. So there we go. Who else do we have? I think that was everyone. There we go. Let's just get into it. Let's see who's going to take this. Let's just keep going. First race. Doing all right. It's the Unicorns. It's not the Unicorns, just the one Unicorn. It's the Bone Shakers that we've got to worry about. Not even the wide-body DeLorean that destroyed me. That got beaten by a Bone Shaker. That is such a shame. Let's get into the next round. Who's going to take it? Oh, it is a Mustang versus the Stealth Unicorn. Stealth Unicorn? Stealth Hot Wheels Bone Shaker in the final. I'm getting all flustered because I went out in the first round and I'm not happy about it. Let's just carry on. See who's going to take the title. It is the Hot Wheels Bone Shaker. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Didn't quite see that one coming, but we'll go back. We'll just do some 1v1s just to get a couple more base times down, and then we'll take the quickest one for the speeder board for our Lamborghini Huracan Performante. Well, we're back at the entrance. Let's just go into a 1v1 at 1 mile. We'll do 3 randomizations, unless it is the wide-body DeLorean that we've already been demolished by. 1, 2, 3. It is the version 3 Ford Mustang RTR Unicorn. Let's get into it, see if we can win. Lined up, ready for race number 2 against the Unicorn. As much as we see them all the time, I'm always happy to see a Unicorn. Absolutely love them. They are based off Mustangs, and I am a Mustang fanboy, so it does kind of make sense. Also a bit of a Ken Block fanboy. God rest his soul. Bless him. But there we go. That's why I do love a Unicorn. Not quite as nice looking as our Lamborghini Huracan Performante. I don't know who's going to win. I think it's probably going to be the Unicorn. Let's face it. This Lamborghini isn't designed for drag racing. It's designed for track racing if you're going to do anything. So let's get in and let's go. Off the line. As I said, this thing accelerates ludicrously fast. Like, I imagine we're way in front, or we were for a little while at least, and now the Huracan is going to pass us, as I predicted. I thought that might be the case. It just doesn't have the legs. It just takes forever to get from 250 to 300. So it's just one of them things. I don't mind. It's just not quite as quick as we'd hope it to be. Let's get across the line, though, and compare the times. There we go. What time have we got? Our first run was a 9.233. So not so faster than our run that we just had there with a 9.294. 24.695 to the quarter of a mile and to the 1 mile even. I'm getting so flustered. And our first run was at 24.635. Same top speed though, 310 kilometers an hour. We'll do one more just to get our ass kicked again and one more time down on the board. Well, we've lost 2 for 2. Can we win our third and final race just so that we haven't had a complete loss of a day? 3 randomizations. 1, definitely not. 2 and 3. Well, we already lost 2. I know it was the version 3, but we're calling it the Huracan. No, looks like we're having the time attack Prius as our next opponent. Let's get in. And this car's insane. I know that anyway. But let's get in and see if we can beat it. The body cut on that Prius is absolutely mental, and I love it. We did build the time attack Prius before. I don't remember if we did it on the drag strip or not. I'm not 100%. My memory isn't as good as it used to be. At least I think it isn't. Anyway, Toyota Prius time attack V8 stuffed in there instead of a normal electric motor against the Lamborghini Huracan Performante. Hopefully we'll be able to win at least one race today, but I've got a feeling we're going to get our asses handed to us again. So let's go. There we go, off the line, into second, into third. As you can see, way out in front, pulling away, doing all right. In fact, I think this is probably the longest we've held a lead for today. Oh, there we go, and then the Toyota Prius is gone. Bye, Prius. You wouldn't believe we were in a Lamborghini Huracan, would you? Especially getting overtaken by a Prius. But never mind, not what we're after today. We just want some times and some stats to put down on the board. Across the line, I think. That ticks over to 311 kilometers an hour. It did indeed. Is this our fastest run of the day? 9.158 to the quarter of a mile. That is definitely our fastest. 24.493. That is also definitely our fastest. And 311 kilometers an hour as well. Getting a good run for our final run, even though we still lost to the Toyota Prius. Although we were winning at a quarter of a mile this time. It was the longest we had held a lead for. We weren't winning at the half mile, and we definitely weren't winning at the 1 mile. Bit of a shame, but there we go. We got 3 times. We got our fastest time down with our last run, which is always good. So let's get the Huracan onto the speeder board and then see if we can sell this beast on for a tasty little bit of profit. Well, there she is then, all finished, the beautiful Lamborghini Huracan Performante. Absolutely stunning looking car. Not that good on the drag strip, as it turns out. 36th out of 67 vehicles so far on this channel. Not too slow though, 9.158 seconds to the quarter of a mile, 24.493 seconds to the 1 mile, and a top speed of 311 kilometers an hour from this beast. As I said, not slow in all really, but just not quite having the top end to hold out on the speeder board there, which is a bit of a shame. But let's talk some facts and figures. I bought the car for $83,741 and could have sold it at the beginning for a loss of $1,719, but we didn't do that. We spent another $93,652 upgrading and modifying, tuning and painting this beast to how you see it here in front of you now, putting our total spend at $177,393. We will be able to make a profit from this beautiful Lamborghini Huracan. Let's get in. Let's find out. All 100% finished. Less than 30,000 kilometers on this beast from the auction house. Now that engine ramped up to 1,223 horsepower. A gain of 93%, which isn't too shabby at all from that beautiful V10 engine stuffed inside this beautiful Lamborghini. Absolutely loving it. We spent 177,393 getting that engine up to there, along with sorting all of this bodywork and getting all the painting done, ready to showcase it. Can we make some money? Yes, and a lot of it. Wow, 471,165 is the sale price. Take away what we spent, still leaves us with 293,772 profit. More than double what we spent on the car. That is absolutely wild. The percentage-wise, I can't even work it out, but it is a lot. A lot of profit from this one, which is absolutely insane. One last time, let's get in and have a look at that beautiful engine in there. Let's get a little bit of torch on it, not too bright. Let's go into photo mode where we can see it just a little bit better. If we can get it in focus. There we go. That engine in there looks beautiful. I love the bronze engine cover on this. Well, I love blending it in to get the wheels match and a few other components as well on this beast. I think it looks beautiful. What do you guys think? Do let me know in the comments below. Let's get that torch off. Let's get this beautiful Lamborghini sold. Off you go, though. Definitely enjoyed it. A lot of fun. There we go. Goodbye. Lots of tasty profit. What have we got up next? You've probably already seen it on the trailer, some of you eagle-eyed viewers, but let's have a proper look. It is the Mark 1 Ford Escort. Absolutely love this thing. Such an amazing car. There we go. I want to get into there. Let's have a look what we've got then. So this is the V8 edition of the Ford Escort Mark 1 RS 1600. Don't think it's called that anymore. Not with the V8 stuffed inside it. It's not. It's in very bad condition. That is absolutely awful. We did get it from the auction house, so I guess it makes sense a little bit. Did I get a good deal? No, but not by much again. I'm happy with that. We bought it for 14,026, and I could sell it for 12,541, losing out on 1,485, which isn't too bad. I'm sure we'll be able to claw that back, especially if it's anything like the Lamborghini Huracan we just did. The engine in this one, obviously, is the V8. At the moment, it's got a double overhead cam AXK engine in there, and I think we should swap that. And I'm going to ask you guys to choose. What engine do you want to see in this one next? Primarily, we're after the Ford Coyote engine or the twin-turbo V8 engine. What do you think we should put in there? Leave a comment with the number 1 for the V8 Ford Coyote engine, or a comment with the number 2 for the V8 AXK TRS, which is the twin-turbo engine. I do love that engine, although the Coyote is new. So I'll let you guys decide. If nobody's picked, I will pick, and it will probably be the twin turbo if I'm being honest. So get in, leave a comment, let me know which one you'd like to see in our beautiful Mark 1 Ford Escort. That's what we're going to be working on next time. I hope you guys do decide which engine we're going to have in there. I do love a bit of a turbo, but I do love a Ford Coyote engine as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, whatever you're getting up to. And if you did enjoy this video, do hit that subscribe button, leave me a like. And as we've already talked about, do leave a comment. Let me know what you think, even if you don't want to pick the engine for the next build. Again, thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, whatever you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.